It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, today is a Monday, and that means it's a metal Monday. We're going back to music from Black Sabbath today, y'all, which means, of course, it's going to be okay. We're listening to Black Sabbath today. For the 14th time, I am featuring this band's music here on the channel, and for this episode, I'm going back to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which was the band's fifth studio album released in November of 1973. So previously from this album, I've heard the biggies, y'all. I've heard the title track, I've heard A National Acrobat, and I've heard Spiral Architect, and I think this is the next one to hear from this album. A bunch of people have written in saying that I should get to it, and today is the day. So with this album, the band continued their big time role. They were pretty darn successful. This was their fifth consecutive album to reach platinum status in the United States. And we remember, this is their fifth album. So they're doing pretty well, y'all. But with this album, it seems like they're starting to move into a different phase, and they're starting to get real notice from outside of the metal world, outside of the heavy metal music world. People are starting to go, this is pretty great stuff. And it's starting to kind of seep in further and further and further and establish this band's dominance in this space. So they had been touring in support of their previous album, Volume 4, and as they gathered in Los Angeles to begin the writing process and to start putting together their next album, they were struggling. And the reason for that mostly is because they were just flat out exhausted from all the touring that they had been doing, and members of the band were struggling pretty mightily with substance abuse during this time. And so they returned home to England, and after a bit of a respite, they again gathered at Clearwell Castle in Gloucestershire to record the music for what would become Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and we get one of their great albums as a result. So I'm ready to dive into this one, y'all. No time like the present. Let's get to it. We've got Ozzy Osbourne on vocals. Tony Iommi is on the guitars, and on this song, he's on a little bit of some synths as well. Geezer Butler is our bassist and our lyricist, and Bill Ward is on the drums. So let's get to it, friends. Here is Killing Yourself to Live from Black Sabbath. Off we go. Right. So that's F sharp. Pretty nice riff. Three, 7-1, I think. So they went to B. Okay. Killing yourself to live. Down. Woo, half step. Sounds great. That's law to lay soul low. The chorus is just killing yourself to live. That's all they need. What do you see? Pain, suffering, and misery. Okay. It's not the way the world was meant. Nice. There's the A to G sharp, then G. Woo! Take it, Ozzy. That was a high D. While My Guitar Gently Weeps progression, that descending bass that goes to soul, that goes back to B, down, then bum, 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 bum.
I'm telling you, believe in me, nobody else will tell you. Open your eyes,
Open your eyes, see the lies! So that's on the 5. Woo! There's a synth in the bass, I think.
You think that I'm crazy, and baby, I know that it's true. Before that you know it, I think that you'll go crazy too.
I love this contrasting section, y'all. They're down on F sharp, which is where they started. But the rest of the song's been in B. That's 7, 1, on the 5. Here for this, y'all.
I don't know if I'm up or down, where the black is white or blue is brown.
Something different again.
We're all different somehow. Little boy blues and big girl now.
Big girl now.
So you think it's me who's straight, but you never had to make the change. Never give your trust away. You'll end up paying till your dying day.
Down now. Down now. This is a bop, y'all. Tony's playing dueling guitar solos. Y'all, that might be, on a first listen, that might be one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs. I'm not even kidding. That had pretty much everything you need. Ozzy's at the top of his game, right? Gosh, my keyboard's over here. Can I turn? I don't have my secondary thing. Yeah, that's a high D that he sang, and it was beautiful. Wow. We got different sections. They start off in F sharp, they modulate to B and do the verses and the chorus and a guitar solo and everything, and then they switch back to F sharp and they change the main riff. They change things up a bit, and they do that for a bit. And then they do a different section on F sharp as they do the outro. Really cool, y'all. Really. I mean, come on. Top of their game. Wow. In this song, Geezer is the one who wrote the lyrics. And when I first approach the lyrics and approach the name of the song, and I read through the lyrics. That's my normal process, y'all. I was under the impression that he's talking about the craziness that is starting to seep into the music industry and the recording industry, and how the whole thing is changing rapidly, and how he's kind of talking about their rock star life a little bit, which may be different from the type of life that people may have thought that they led. You know, killing yourself to live. If I go back to these lyrics, people stop, people look, and people stare. I don't think they even care. You work your life away, and what do they give? You're only killing yourself to live. But according to a passage in Ozzy's memoir, Geezer wrote the song while he was recovering in the hospital for kidney issues that was brought on by heavy drinking. And the song reflects the pitfalls and the problems by leading an extreme lifestyle like this, right? So if we look at this from a broader perspective, yeah, they might be dealing with harsher economics within the profession of creating popular music that a lot of people buy. I mean, it becomes something that has value, and when something has value, it takes on monetary importance, and a whole lot of scheming and chicanery can creep in around that. That's what I was originally thinking, but now hearing it and reading a little bit from that passage in Ozzy's memoir, the main lyrical hook, killing yourself to live, especially in 2024, as I'm hearing it, it really resonates in a more broad way for me today, y'all, especially here in America. It seems as though the basics of being able to live an uplifting and a stable life and an existence are becoming harder and harder to achieve. And we work really hard just to try to keep up, to the point where we can occasionally save up enough funds to enjoy a night out or go to a concert or do anything that makes the grindstone worth all of the sacrifice and effort. I think a bunch of people feel that way in today's economy. And I think that it's relatively easy then to imagine how this reality affects the daily lives of not only, just regular Joes and regular Dougs, but the lives of our favorite musicians. They're dealing with shit too, y'all. We can apply this sort of idea to a myriad of happenings in our own lives, and because of that, we can understand it when Geezer's talking about it in the lyrics. If I go back to the outro here, the lyrics are fascinating. I don't know if I'm up or down, whether black is white or blue is brown. Boy, that's been my experience for a while. You just don't recognize the some of the world in which you live. You're like, what is that? Things are happening, y'all. I don't know if I'm up or down, whether black is white or blue is brown. The colors of my life are all different somehow. Little boy blue is a big girl now, meaning things are changing, things are different. If you think it's me who's strange, but you've never had to make the change, never give your trust away. You'll end up paying to your dying day. It's a song that 51 years later, this month, still seems current and fresh, even for me. I mean, that's the first time I'd ever heard that song. But it really, I think, is one of their stronger compositional creations in this style, especially in this early part of what heavy metal was becoming, and how they're leading the pack in this genre. It's really an amazing achievement. And I know now that I've heard about half of this album, but I think the rest of the tracks need to be heard as well. Maybe I'll get to the whole thing and do like a side at a time like I've done with other albums. Give my chance to hear the other great songs again and hear them in the context of the album. Maybe I'll do that probably in the new year. But it's great to get back to music from Black Sabbath and really dive into what they're doing musically and what they're saying lyrically. And here in this era of the band, I think, even though they've been struggling with their substance abuse, they're still, when they are able to get themselves all in a room together and put together these songs, they're still at the top of their game. And it's wonderful music that we can appreciate still all these years later. And so I'm happy to have looked at this one today. If you are one of the people that has suggested that I get to this one, thank you for telling me about it. It's been a lovely Metal Monday, y'all. But that's all for me today. I've got a lot more coming up this week and in the future weeks. And I thank you for hanging out with me today. Let's get to the rest of the week. Now we've got our blood pumping a little bit, and we've got a little bit of understanding of what Geezer especially, but the band were singing about all those years ago, and it still hits me as I heard it for the first time today. Wonderful experience. Thanks, y'all, for being with me. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.